Good morning. Welcome to Conversations Here and Now. My name is Naresh, and today I just want to talk about Doug Ford's tunnels that he has proposed building under Highway 401. It's a really a big project, to say the least. So I'll just look at some points that could be of concern regarding this tunnel. I think one of the most important points is going to be the financial in this matter. How much is this thing going to cost? So, preliminary estimates, because I'll back up for a second. It is supposed to go from Mississauga in the west to Markham or Scarborough in the east. That is a long, long tunnel. Doug Ford always goes big. So, estimates range from 50 billion to 100 billion. Yes, that's billion with a B. Billion. So, for a province, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money on one project. That's the estimate of the project. Then there's budget overruns. Large infrastructure mega projects frequently go over budget. For example, Boston's Big Dig, and I'll go over that. And tunneling under active highways adds further unpredictability to the financial part of it. Long payback horizon. The financial return or congestion relief benefit could take decades to materialize, if at all. So I think everybody asks about the financial side of it first. So 50 to 100 billion, I don't think Ontario can do it on its own, period. That's why Premier Ford has asked Prime Minister Carney to help out with this project. I think the second big thing that everybody looks at is the time frame this is going to take. Now, preliminary time frame, long-term development timeline planning, environmental assessments, and construction could take 15 to 20 years. We can all pretty much say what this is going to take probably at least 20 to 25 years to build this, to actually build this, because that's a long stretch running from Mississauga all the way to Scarborough or Markham. That is not going to be built in a day. Technological uncertainty, tunnel boring is advanced work. And new or hybrid technologies may be required at this scale, adding risk to that. So this length of time, I think we can all probably comfortably say 20 to 25 years. So if somebody's like me who's 61, probably will never get to drive on that thing. If you're 20 today, you probably will not get to drive on that till you're 45, maybe even 50 years old, right? And that's if it doesn't keep going over that. Because there hasn't really been anything like this in the world where you build a tunnel under an existing highway, the most traveled highway, Highway 401 in North America and the world as well. So those are two big concerns. The other concerns are engineering and technological challenges. Soil and geology. The Greater Toronto Area has a mix of clay, shale, and sand, which complicates tunneling. Tunnel boring machines would need to adapt to multiple soil conditions, increasing risks and costs. Hydrogeology. High water tablets in parts of the GTA can lead to groundwater infiltration, requiring extensive waterproofing and dewatering systems. This is already sounding really complicated. Traffic disruption risk. This is the big one. When you're building this thing, there will be some massive traffic disruptions. Now, we all know that when the Gardner or the QEW is under construction for a year or 18 months, everybody goes crazy about the traffic that happens. Think about this for 20 to 25 years, and you know how busy that part of the 401, especially going towards Islington and Finch and all that, it is just crazy there. And to be building this and affecting that traffic for 20 to 25 years is mind-blowing. I don't think people will be too happy. Maybe somebody can take a year, 18 months, maybe 2 years, but 20 to 25 years, no. And complex infrastructure above and below. The 401 corridor is dense with utilities, overpasses, railways, and other underground infrastructure that complicates tunnel routing, thus making 20 to 25 years and interruptions with everything. Environmental issues. Carbon footprint. The excavation, concrete production, and machine operations for up to a 60-kilometer tunnel would have significant environmental impact. You don't even have to be an environmentalist to know that this is going to affect everything around it. Flood risks. Climate change increases the risk of heavy rainfall and flooding, which poses safety and maintenance issues for tunnels. Disruptions to aquifers and wetlands. Tunneling could affect underground water flow and surface ecosystems. Social and political obstacles. Public opposition. Critics argue it diverts funds from public transit and more sustainable urban planning that can be done right now. 50 to 100 billion. We're not talking 50 to 100 million, we're talking 50 to 100 billion. Land acquisition for portals and ventilation. Acquiring land in urban areas could displace residents or businesses and provoke a tremendous backlash. You want to be kicked out of your home? Go somewhere else? That's happened before. People are not very happy about that. Inequitable benefit distribution. Some areas may benefit more than others, causing political tension across municipalities, because this project will run across several municipalities. That political headache hasn't been thought of. And to give you a little bit of another example, everybody's probably heard of Boston's Big Dig tunnels. The construction in that started in 1991. It was supposed to finish in 1998. It's approximately 8 miles long. And instead of finishing in 1998, it finished in 2007. Original cost was 2.8 billion, and it ended up being 15 billion. And that's only 8 miles, right? 12 to 15 kilometers. This is going to be 60 kilometers. So I think there's already huge issues with this. And I think the two of the biggest ones, they're all big, but the two of the biggest ones are financial and the time. 50 to 100 billion can go a long ways towards setting up new transit, trains, whatever it may be, buses, trains, extending train lines, etc. Right? It can go a long ways towards helping out other things like hospitals, education, seniors, a lot of things that need help right now. So, and the timeline, 20 to 25 years. See, we all know that the 401 is in a bad way right now. I think the only time I think sometimes you can travel on the 401 without any issues is between 12 and 3 in the morning, if that. So this is not going to change anything right away. In fact, once it begins for the next 20 to 25 years after that, you'll have nothing but a massive traffic disruption and headache. So it's not going to change anything right now, and help is needed right now. So, I mean, I'll give you the other side of it too. What are the good sides to it? Eventually, it will, if it's built somehow, it would improve traffic flow. That's debatable, if it's going to improve traffic flow or not, because the more highways and tunnels and roads you build, the more people want to drive. More people come out in their cars and want to drive because they don't want to take transit of any kind of it, right? So I don't know if that would work. In economic benefits, job creation, yes, jobs would be created when it starts building to the time it ends. I'll give that. I don't know if there's actually environmental benefits, reduced, more efficient travel because of so you have reduced emissions. I'm not sure about that because you'll have more cars on the road. Quality of life increases because there's more roads to travel on. Again, I'm not sure about that. But another thing I think we've seen in the last few years now in Toronto is whenever summer comes around and it rains heavily, we've seen how flooded roads get. So can you imagine how flooded this tunnel would get if there isn't proper systems set up? And even if there's proper systems set up, there's a lot of rain now in the summertime. We've seen that time and time and time again. So, I mean, it is, it's a bold and transformative project, but there's challenges in cost, engineering, environmental risk, and political feasibility. And I think the province would be better served investing those funds into transit, housing, and surface infrastructure improvements rather than this type of a project. And it seems Premier Ford is really pushing hard for it. So, but as I've listed some of the reasons, I don't think this will improve anybody's travel time immediately. In fact, it'll make travel times far worse for the next 20 to 25 years while the construction is going on. So, I don't think this is the best idea, but what do I know? I'm just a normal guy on the street who drives at this time anyway. So, all right. Thank you very much. If you like the video, please like, subscribe, and share, and turn on your notifications. Thank you. We'll talk again.